When a millionaire stands up and warns what's coming for you, he's not talking to the air. He's talking to the ones who keep pretending that life will magically reward them for simply existing. His voice wasn't soft, it wasn't gentle, it wasn't meant to soothe. It slammed into the room like a hammer. And when he said, "If you don't get ahead of what's coming, you'll be eaten alive," the entire room went silent, not because they agreed, but because they suddenly realized how unprepared they were for the storm they've been pretending they don't see. He wasn't predicting the end of the world, he was predicting the end of excuses, the end of comfort, the end of the lazy fantasies people wrap themselves in when they fear confronting reality. He saw what most people refuse to see, that the world is about to reward the obsessed and punish the passive. That success is about to tilt hard in favor of the relentless. That the ones waiting for luck, timing, or miracles are about to be crushed by those who decided to create their own. He wasn't warning you about danger so you cry. He was warning you so you wake up, because the danger isn't the economy or the competition or the changing world, the danger is you thinking you have time. You don't. The clock is not your friend. The clock is the blade at your throat. The clock is the reminder that every minute you waste will be owned by someone hungrier than you. And the millionaire didn't sugarcoat it because he knows the truth, the future belongs to those who move now. Not those who delay, justify, or hope things will sort themselves out. He looked around the room and he saw the same faces you see everywhere, faces full of potential but paralyzed by hesitation, faces that want success but don't want to bleed for it, faces that want the outcome without the transformation. And he told them what they didn't want to hear: you are not overwhelmed. You are undisciplined. You are not unlucky. You are unfocused. You are not stuck. You are comfortable. And comfort is the coffin of ambition. The silence became heavy. Not the silence of respect, the silence of realization. The silence of guilt. The silence of truth hitting like a slap. Because deep down, everyone in that room knew he wasn't talking about the world coming after them. They knew he was talking about the habits they refused to kill, the risks they refused to take, the dreams they refused to execute. He said the market is shifting, opportunities are tightening, competition is mutating, and the only ones who will survive are the ones who evolve faster than the chaos. Not the ones who pray for stability. Not the ones who wait for permission. Not the ones who treat discipline like an optional accessory. He called out the ones who think motivation is enough, the ones who chase hype but avoid sacrifice, the ones who want the $1 million life with the 10-cent work ethic. And he said it plainly: if you continue like this, the world will erase you. Not because it hates you, but because you refuse to become someone worth remembering. And the room froze, because deep inside every person there was a voice whispering, "He's talking about me." Then he dropped the part that hit hardest: you think you're scared of the future. The future is scared of you, if you would actually show up. He wasn't declaring doom, he was declaring war, on your laziness, your doubt, your fear, your constant negotiations with mediocrity. He said that most people don't fail because of impossibility, they fail because they pause every time it gets hard. They hesitate every time discomfort rises. They retreat every time life demands a version of them they haven't grown into yet. And he told them the truth people avoid, the life you want is not hiding from you. It is hiding behind everything you're avoiding. He said that the next era will not be ruled by the talented, it will be ruled by the disciplined. That intelligence will matter, but consistency will matter more. That creativity will matter, but execution will matter more. That desire will matter, but obsession will matter most. And he warned that while most people are waiting for opportunities, the relentless are manufacturing them. While most are waiting for the right moment, the committed are turning imperfect moments into irreversible momentum. While most are avoiding failure, the unstoppable are stacking failures like staircases. He said that the world is changing fast, and if you're not willing to change with it, you'll be outrun by people who started with less talent, less support, less luck, less everything, except hunger. And then he looked at them like he could see their secrets, the lies they tell themselves before bed, the excuses they make to protect their pride. And he said, "Stop telling yourself you're tired. You're not tired, you're untrained. Stop telling yourself you're unlucky. You're not unlucky, you're unprepared. Stop telling yourself you're overwhelmed. You're not overwhelmed, you're undisciplined. Stop telling yourself you're waiting for the right time. You're not waiting, you're stalling because you're scared of discovering your real capacity." The silence wasn't silence anymore, it was suffocation. Because the truth he spoke was the truth they needed but never wanted. He said the storm that's coming is not a storm of disaster, it's a storm of competition, a storm of evolution, a storm of accelerated progress. And those who do not outrun their old selves will be demolished by those who already buried theirs. He told them that the world will soon be divided into two types of people, the ones who adapt through relentless reinvention, and the ones who cling to old identities and drown with them. He said that complaining is useless, hoping is insufficient, planning is incomplete without action, and dreaming is worthless without discipline. He said every life has a price, and you either pay it in discipline or pay it in regret, and the bill always comes due. He said that most people think life is hard now, not realizing this is the easiest it will ever be again. That comfort is vanishing. That automation is accelerating. That competition is multiplying. That the world is rewarding those who take responsibility instead of shortcuts. He said you're not just fighting for success, you're fighting for the right to stay relevant. And the room didn't just go silent, it went still, like everyone stopped breathing. Because at that moment, they understood how close they've been to losing everything they say they want, simply because they refuse to evolve. He said that the future will belong to the person who works while others sleep, studies while others scroll, pushes while others stall, adapts while others complain, builds while others wait. And he warned them that the world is not slowing down so they can catch up, they must speed up so they stop falling behind. He told them they've been lied to their whole lives. That consistency is more powerful than talent. That resilience is more important than intelligence. That discipline is more valuable than motivation. That transformation is more necessary than comfort. And then he said the line that broke the room in half: you want a better life, but you don't want to become the version of yourself required to live it. And that is the real problem. He said that growth is not a suggestion, it is a survival skill. That excuses are the chains that keep people enslaved to their smallest selves. That fear is the mask that hides your potential. That procrastination is the silent assassin of greatness. That comfort is the graveyard where people bury their futures while pretending they're taking a break. And he warned that the next 5 years will be a battlefield, not a playground. Those who build discipline will dominate. Those who chase distraction will drown. Those who master focus will rise. Those who cling to comfort will decay. He said that the pain you avoid is the prison you live in, and the pain you embrace becomes the power you carry. That every minute of hesitation becomes a debt you owe to your future self. That every moment of discipline becomes a gift you give to your future self. And with absolute certainty, he told them, if you do not break who you are today, you will never meet who you could have become. You could feel the air tighten. You could feel the truth burn. And you could feel every single person in that room face the one enemy they've been running from, themselves. He said the world is shifting toward those who will not be denied. That luck favors the obsessed. That opportunities favor the prepared. That breakthroughs favor the disciplined. That success favors the ones who refuse to quit on days when quitting is the easiest option. And he warned them that the world will not wait for their feelings, their fears, their doubts, their mood, or their excuses. It will only respond to their effort. And then he said the final, brutal truth: nothing is coming for you. You must go for it. And if you don't, someone else will. And they will take the life that was meant for you. And that was the moment the room went silent, not because they were scared of the future, but because they finally realized the future was scared of who they could become. If they stopped playing small. And the millionaire wasn't finished. He leaned forward, eyes sharp enough to cut through every excuse still hiding in the room, and he said the words nobody expected but everyone needed: you think the world owes you a chance. It doesn't. You think success is a reward. It isn't. Success is a consequence of who you are, of what you do, of how far you're willing to go when everyone else stops. And the truth is, most people stop. They stop the moment the work feels heavy. They stop the moment the pressure rises. They stop the moment the results don't show up fast enough to feed their ego. But he said champions don't stop, they adapt, they break patterns, they shatter limits, they evolve faster than their doubts can catch them. He said most people want clarity before they move, while the ones who win move until clarity appears. Most people want guarantees before they risk, while the ones who rise risk until guarantees become irrelevant. He said you cannot outrun your potential, but you can bury it beneath fear, excuses, and comfort, and that is the slowest death a human being can experience. He looked around and said, "The world is changing. Every month is different from the last. Every industry is shifting. Every skill is aging. Everything you think you know is becoming obsolete faster than your motivation can keep up with. So the only question that matters is, are you evolving faster than the world? Because if you're not, you're already behind." The room tightened again, like the air itself understood the weight of what he was saying. And he didn't stop. He didn't soften. He didn't give them space to breathe. He pressed harder. You have been trained to think that ambition is dangerous, that wanting more is selfish, that discomfort is a sign to stop. But the truth is the opposite. Ambition is survival, wanting more is necessary, discomfort is the doorway to transformation. You don't suffer because life is hard. You suffer because you keep trying to live an extraordinary life with an ordinary mentality. And then he told them the part that stings long after the words fade: the life you want is not expensive. You're just underperforming. He said the next era will expose everyone. The lazy won't be able to hide behind talent anymore. The uncommitted won't be able to hide behind potential. The undisciplined won't be able to hide behind excuses. He said the world is filtering people, not by intelligence, not by education, not by luck, but by resilience. By hunger. By consistency. By identity. He said, you don't get what you want. You get what you are. And if you don't like what you're getting, change who you are. Silence again. Not peaceful silence. Transformational silence. The kind that marks the moment a person meets the truth about themselves. The kind of silence that feels like a mirror. He said most people fail because they are terrified of reinventing themselves. They cling to who they used to be like that version has anything to offer the future. They defend their old habits like those habits ever gave them the life they dream about. They protect their limitations like those limitations ever protected them. And then he said something that felt like a knife: if who you are today is enough to create the life you want, you would already have it. The room didn't move. Nobody blinked. Because that line didn't just land, it detonated. He said the next season of life will belong to those who reinvent aggressively, who pursue growth like a mission, who treat discipline like oxygen. Who show up on days when their mind screams no. He said the world isn't becoming harder, it's becoming more precise. There is less room for mediocrity. Less room for hesitation. Less room for emotional softness. Less room for people who move based on feelings instead of commitments. He said feelings are the cheapest form of guidance. They change with sleep, with hunger, with mood, with insecurity. But commitment is steel. Commitment is a weapon. Commitment is what builds lives that last. He said, your feelings don't get to vote on your future. Your actions do. And then he pointed at the room, at every person who thought they were hiding in the crowd, and said, somebody is coming for your spot. Somebody is coming for the opportunities you keep delaying. Somebody is coming for the future you keep fantasizing about but refuse to work for. Somebody out there is hungrier than you. Somebody out there is training in silence while you negotiate with laziness. Somebody out there is building momentum while you're building excuses. And the day you meet that person, you will understand that your competition was never the world, it was the weakest version of yourself that you allow to survive. And then he paused, but not to be dramatic. He paused because he wanted every single person to understand the next sentence was the one that would change or break them. If you do not kill your excuses now, they will bury your future later. He said the next era will reward intensity, obsession, and mastery. The ones who commit to deep work will own the next decade. The ones who commit to shallow distractions will spend the next decade complaining. He said survival is no longer about being good, it's about being irreplaceable. About being so skilled, so focused, so disciplined, so adaptable that the world cannot function without you. And he didn't say it to scare them. He said it to wake them. Because he knew most of them weren't living, they were waiting. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for signs. Waiting for permission. Waiting for certainty. Waiting for the perfect moment that will never come. He said the most dangerous lie is I'll start tomorrow, because tomorrow becomes next week becomes next year, and next year becomes I guess life just didn't work out for me. And he snapped that delusion in half by saying, life didn't fail you. You failed to start. The room went silent one last time. But this silence was different. This silence wasn't guilt or fear. This silence was ignition. The silence of people who finally understood the truth. Nobody is coming to save them. Nobody is coming to push them. Nobody is coming to choose for them. Nobody is coming to build their dreams. Nobody is coming to rescue their potential. And the millionaire stood tall, knowing this was the final strike they needed to hear. And he said, the future is not waiting for you. It is being built by the ones who move now. So move. Stop delaying. Stop doubting. Stop negotiating. Stop waiting. Stop wishing. Go. Now. Before someone else takes the life you were meant to live. And with that, he walked off the stage. No applause. No noise. Just a room full of people who finally realized that the silence they were hearing was the sound of their old life ending and a new, unstoppable version of themselves being born.